The second part of our triple fit is the culture aspect. And our culture is really your colleagues and the incentivized behaviors within an organization. And the organization could be a for-profit business, could be a for-profit social enterprise, could be a mission-driven nonprofit, or could be a government agency. Different types of employers have different dynamics in terms of what they reward and the kinds of colleagues you're going to have, which are going to be your teammates. Now, what's interesting in the 21st century is that there are a lot more options in terms of sectors than what you might have thought existed. Of course, high profitability and negative impact on the environment, traditional businesses generally think of their impact on society and the environment as liabilities they have to protect themselves against. A lot of companies, because they might be afraid of losing investors, employees, or consumers, have started to increase their corporate social responsibility efforts in order to become less unsustainable. And of course, the for-profit industries definitely go from going bankrupt all the way to becoming very profitable and everything in between. Okay? So, in contrast with that, there are going to be sustainable businesses and for-profit social enterprises. Sustainable businesses basically employ managers, and everyone is a corporate social responsibility or CSR manager within a sustainable business. A for-profit social enterprise is mission-driven before they're revenue-driven. So let me take an example of this in everyday life. Let's take the shoe industry. This would be like a Louboutin. They want to maximize shareholder values and selling high-heel shoes to women everywhere. Here would be a Nike. They have a number of different procedures in place to minimize any negative impact on the environment and society, but they really cannot guarantee it. Then sustainable businesses would be a Timberland or a Patagonia, where they actually know where their commodities are coming from and how they're manufactured and then distributed to their different clients. And then we have for-profit social enterprises that would be like a Tom's Shoes that have a mission to provide a pair of good-fitting shoes to every kid in the world, and in order to do that, sell shoes to people who can afford to buy them. All of those opportunities are for-profit opportunities, which means they will maximize your salary opportunities, but will have different kinds of cultures that are going to be more impact-driven or more revenue-driven. In the nonprofit world, there is a shift between traditional nonprofits that are surviving and growing through grants and donations, as well as revenue-generating nonprofits who survive and grow primarily to the sales of products and services. A Goodwill Industries will be a revenue-generating nonprofit. Something like a Social Impact Advisors will also be something like a consulting firm in renewable energy that's nonprofit, like the EDF and the Climate Corps would be part of a revenue-generating nonprofits, and foundations most of the time are going to be traditional nonprofits. Again, it really depends what is a better fit for you based on the kinds of colleagues you're going to have, as well as the kinds of incentivized behaviors you feel are closest to your values. And of course, we have the government sector that spans the whole gamut in terms of impact and in terms of profitability. And there is a huge impact investing arm in intergovernmental agencies, but also US government agencies that are growing in this day and age. So as you can see, your cross-sector options have changed. You don't need to become a social entrepreneur in order to work for a social enterprise, whether it's a for-profit or a non-profit social enterprise. You don't need to build a sustainable business. You can get employed by one. And if you still want to be a CSR manager, you can definitely become that. It spans the whole gamut. And basically, it is for you an opportunity to narrow down your choices. Our assessment is going to help you narrow down your choices in the following way. Many of you are conducting information interviews, but you're many of you are conducting information interviews, trying to understand what's the actual culture. Many of you are conducting online research via sources such as university websites or Glassdoor, company videos, Vault, Webfeed, all of those. There is a dissociation between the advertised cultures and the actual culture. And some of that is very big for some of the big companies because each department develops its own culture. And of course is much more aligned for smaller organizations. But again, this is not enough to just look at them. You have to look at how a culture fits your own unique priorities in terms of material rewards, prestige, self-development, community, and work-life integration. And our second sector assessment will help you not be here. That's what I see a lot of students do and a lot of employees do, and that's not a good fit because no matter how good they are, you're not gonna like it. They're not relevant to what you wanna prioritize. So our assessment will help you be here so that you can actually really ask the right questions during your informational interviews and double check which employers are a good fit for you. And that will enable you to then look at sectors in a new way so that you will find the best sector for you to start looking at employers within so that you can do informational interviews within that sector, within those organizations, and as a result of that, narrow down your search faster.